Jarrell Big Baby Miller has been the highlight of Saudi Arabia thus far, a week before the fight. Jarrell Big Baby Miller has been letting everyone have it. He went up to Daniel Dubois when he ran into him at the hotel, and he let him know he's going to knock him out and that Daniel Dubois better be ready. Daniel Dubois just looked at Jarrell Big Baby Miller and smiled. I've had my questions about Daniel Dubois. In his last fight against Alexander Usyk, they didn't call the body shot a legal body shot. They called it a low blow. I thought it was legal. But even then, you had Usyk real hurt, and you weren't able to capitalize when he came back up, and you ended up getting stopped off a jab. I'm not a huge Daniel Dubois fan. He's big, but he's a big punk on Guam. I just think he doesn't have a lot of courage. He hasn't said much of anything to Jarrell Big Baby Miller. And I'm starting to think that Jarrell Big Baby Miller is going to win this fight, man. Jarrell Big Baby Miller has been letting people have it. The whole time he's been in Saudi Arabia, he walked past Anthony Joshua. He said he smells pussy in the room. He knew he smelled pussy in the room. And Joshua didn't say anything to him. Like I said, Jarrell Big Baby Miller has really been running the show in Saudi Arabia, man. This is going to be a great show. I've been talking about Day of Reckoning. And I'm looking forward to Day of Reckoning. We get to see Dimitri Bivol. We get to see Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a great show, stack card. I'm very excited for it. Boxing needs a show like this. Saudi Arabia has really given us a lot of gold recently. And stuff like that. Switching topics. This Gervonta Davis blocking Bill Haney on Instagram and, trying to make excuses like Devin Haney came into his last fight at 165 pounds. It's just utterly ridiculous. I think Gervonta Davis fans have to finally realize what it's come down to. He's just avoiding the best fights. He doesn't want to fight the best fighters. He has an excuse and he has a reason for not wanting to do things every single time. He unfollowed Bill Haney on Instagram. He complained about the weight Devin Haney was in his last fight. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't Gervonta Davis ask to fight Nayu Inoue, who fights at 122 pounds right now? So Gervonta Davis is a hypocrite, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Gervonta Davis wants to continue to make as much money as he can without having to fight the toughest fights he can. That's just who he is. That's what his team's about. Leonard Ellerbe, Floyd Mayweather and the crew, and Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis, that's what they're about. And they will elude the crowd as long as they can. Canelo did it for a long time. That's the name of the game. Confuse the crowd for as long as you can. But man, I'm telling you guys, I think there's a lot of lightweights in the 135, 140 pound division that would give Gervonta Davis problems. People don't want to hear the truth. But I think Devin Haney would flat out beat Gervonta Davis. I think Teofimo Lopez would beat Gervonta Davis. I think Shakur Stevenson would beat Gervonta Davis. I even think that potentially that there's other guys like Vasily Lomachenko who would beat him. I mean, Gervonta Davis has beaten nobody for me to just think that he's just some great fighter. His best win might have been Mario Barrios. He was losing every round of that fight almost. And he scored a miraculous knockout. That's what Gervonta tends to do. That's why the fans love him, because he gets miraculous knockouts. But he's down on the scorecards too much for me. And I just think that we need to see this fight. It has to happen, Devin Haney versus Gervonta Davis. And I think it's to the point now where if we don't see the fight, there's only one fighter and one team to blame, and that's Gervonta Davis and his team.